keyword when dealing with this type of question. It says, first word, calculate. As soon as you read calculate, you have to show everything that you've done. That is calculate. The second most important thing says exact. What is exact? It means if it's in a fraction, it's wrong. Exact. So it cannot be in a fraction. It's a paper 2, so you can use your calculator. At certain questions, they will say, using your calculator or otherwise. Never, ever, ever in a paper 2 for a paper 2 dealing with calculate and exact, only write the answer. So if you only write the answer, know in advance it is wrong. One says calculate, and the second thing is exact. The first thing is BEMDAS. You have brackets. So what goes first? Brackets. You can use your calculator. Use it step by step. Use every term step by step. So if you have 4 1/5, what does it become? 21/5. Subtract what? Times 1, 10/9, multiplied by, if you want to look at that, 3 divided by 1. Fractions, you've done this since you were 6 years old. So, yes. Numerator multiplied by the numerator. Denominator multiplied by denominator. Your answer becomes subtract 30/9. If you notice the way I'm writing top to bottom. Yes, I have a coordinated way of writing things. If you either write like this, keep writing like that. Every time I have an equal sign, I go beneath. Subtraction of 2 different denominators, you need to look for the lowest common multiple of 5 and 9, which is 45. That means you multiply 21 with 9, you multiply 30 with 5, and your denominator becomes 45, which in turn becomes 189 subtract 150. And when you do that successfully, your answer becomes 39/45. And you can simplify it further. If you do not simplify it further, you will not get all the points. You have your calculator. So this is the answer to 1. B. Using the table to calculate, again, the same word, calculate. What does calculate represent? You have to show all of your working. The same words keep coming over and over again. Exchange $1 to Barbados dollars. If 1 Barbados dollars would equal 3 Trinidad and Tobago dollars, I know that 1 US is 645 Trinidad and Tobago dollars. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for 645 of Trinidad and Tobago dollars, going back to Barbados dollars. How much is this? That's what I'm looking for. Table, you've done this a million times. You can either use it like this, or you can switch it up by doing it like this. Just the same thing. Yes, it's the same thing. You just flipped it. The thing I did was I flipped it. That's what I did. Different ways of getting it. You can just divide 645 by 3, or you do it the other way, which is 645 multiplied by 1 divided by 3, which is the same thing. And the answer becomes 215. Remember, it says calculate, so you have to show up for your answer. You cannot just place a table and put the answer. $215. That is the second one. The next page, Gale exchanged 1806 Barbados dollars to US. How much do you get? Same thing again. So you have your Barbados dollars, which is 1806. The first thing is you go to Trinidad and Tobago dollars. The first step you do, you multiply with 3. That answer becomes 5418. And then you're going from Trinidad and Tobago dollars to regular dollars. That is one way of doing it. If I'm not mistaken, I've seen 2 more ways, which is also fine. I counted it correct. Different ways of getting to the same answer. Answer 840. I looked at the test, very easy and simple. If you forgot the units, I still gave you some points, or all the points. If you did certain mistakes, I still counted it correctly. But in the test week, I cannot do that. C, hire purchase. Certain people confused hire purchase with simple interest or compound interest. It's nothing to do with simple interest or compound interest. You have a laptop, you either pay it full amount or you pay it in pieces. And then begs the question, how much money do you pay if you pay it in terms? Every month, you pay an equal amount. So as soon as you walk into the store, you have to pay $540. As soon as you walk in the store and say, I want that laptop, they say, all right, you need to pay $540 first. And after you've paid the $540, then you have to pay for 12 months consecutively $374.98. So how much do you pay in total? The way of going at it is, I leave that out. 12 multiplied by 374.98. That becomes 4,499 with 76 cents. And you have to add what? The 540 to it. and your total answer becomes 5039. Do not forget the unit, which is dollars. Do not forget. And that would have been the answer. D, the percentage difference or the profit made if I bought it either with hire purchase or paid the cash immediately. It's a simple formula. What is that exact formula? You take the price of hire purchase, subtract the original price. I've seen people do it in a different way, which is also fine. And that answer you multiply by 100%. And that answer becomes 5.02. It says give your answer in what? 2 decimals. Remember, reading is essential. Some people, I think, only wrote 5%. 2 decimals. Two, the easiest one. P to the third, Q to the second, multiplied by PQ fifth. This was chapter 1.8, indices. When you multiply two of the same, what do you get? P3 plus 1 multiplied by Q squared plus 5. So your answer had to be P to the fourth and Q to the seventh. If I'm not mistaken, this was one of the first classes I ever gave. If you wrote it differently, for example, P to the fourth multiplied by Q to the seventh, it's also fine. So on a paper 2, those going to make the CXC exam, they expect to see this. Do not write the answer immediately. It is easy. P4, Q7. But give them this answer. 3 plus 1, Q2 plus 5, and then give the answer. Because as you notice, it's only 1 mark. So the slightest of mistake will not get you that mark. B. If A asterisk B equals to A minus 5B, and I give you 3 asterisk 4, that means A represents 3 and B represents 4. So 2 multiplied by 3 subtract 5 multiplied by 4. That is your answer. Well, you have to finish it. 6 subtract 20. Your answer would have been negative 14. That is your answer. The next one. 3 asterisk 4 asterisk 1. How do you go about this one? You have to do the same thing twice. So the first one was 3, 4. Brackets goes first, BAMDAS. So what do you have? 2 times 3, subtract 5 times 4. 6 minus 20 gives the same answer as A. So you already knew that answer. And then you have to do it again. So you have minus 14 asterisk 1. So what do you have? 2 multiplied by negative 14 and, subtract 5 multiplied by 1, which gives the answer negative 28. Subtract 5. So that answer becomes negative 23. Chapter 4.2. Negative 33. Exercise 3. You have a piece of wire. A piece of wire. When this wire forms a square, the area is 121. That means I take that wire and I turn it each side equally. A square, all sides are equal. So I'm saying the same number multiplied by itself equals 121. So x squared equals 121. How do I get the answer to that specific question? You take the square root out of 121. So x equals the square root of 121, which then equals 11. That is each side. Now they ask for the perimeter. What's the perimeter? You start somewhere, count every single length, and end up where you started. So you have 11 centimeters multiplied by 4 sides. Answer should have been 44 centimeters. Next thing, that same piece of wire is bent to form a circle. It becomes a circle now. And then it states, find the radius of that specific circle. What is the radius? Now, the first thing you should know is, I need to know the circumference of this formula. It says use pi is 22 over 7. When you use pi as 22 over 7, do not press 22 divided by 7 in your calculator and press enter. Don't do that, because you will get a decimal. They do not want a decimal. That's why they say pi is 22 over 7, which is an exact number. So use that exact number. So if you're multiplying or dividing by the pi that is given in your calculator, you need to use brackets for it to stick together. So, in the previous one, we knew that the perimeter is 44. So if I take that same length of piece of wire, how long do you think that specific wire is? It's 44 centimeters. And now what do I have here? A circle. If I start somewhere and end somewhere else, it's the perimeter. So what am I looking for? The formula of the circumference. And what is the formula of the circumference? Circumference equals 2 pi radius. And you already know the answer to the circumference, which is 44. So 44 equals 2 multiplied by pi multiplied by the radius, which you want to know. Since this looks very complicated, you make it extremely easy for yourself. 2 multiplied by 5 multiplied by x equals 100. You just change it into something else. What is the value of x? Value of x is 10. Yes. How do you get to the 10? You divide what? These two answers. You divide 100 by these two. So what do you have to do over here? Divide the 44 by what? These two over here. So the radius is what? 44 divided by 2 multiplied by 22 over 7. If you do that correctly, your answer is 7. Number 4. Almost done? No, almost done. Word problems. This is your circle. If you read it carefully, it says there was a mistake in making this specific disk. There was a mistake. And this part is not shown. So you only get a piece. It says 5 centimeters. This is 5 centimeters, and the bottom is 6. The question is, find the area of the triangle. An area of any triangle is a half multiplied by the base multiplied by the height. Now, is 5 the height? Of course not. That's not the height. The height is what? This is the height. Is it given to you? No. You had to draw that specific line yourself. And when you have the line, it is something very familiar. A right-angled triangle. And in a right-angled triangle, I can use something our friend Pythagoras invented. It says a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So if you take a line and cut it exactly through the middle, you would have 3 on one side and 3 on the other side. How would I know that? This is an isosceles triangle. That's how I know it. Isosceles triangle. How do I know it's an isosceles triangle? Both lengths are the same. Isosceles triangle. So what do I have? 3 and 5. Pythagoras theorem to get to the height. 3 squared at b squared equals 5 squared. 9 at something equals 25. So that something, which is b squared, is 16. So b equals the square root of 16, which is 4. So the height equals 4. Then I go back to my original formula. Half times base times height. A half times the base, which is 6, multiplied by the height, which equals 4. You have a half multiplied by 24, and your answer is 12, not 12, but 12 squared centimeters. The next one, the easiest one. Inside this triangle, there is a degree. That degree equals 75. I would like to know the area of the missing piece, meaning the area of the pink highlighted section. How do I get to that specific area? Easy. I do not look at it difficult first. I have, this is called a minor sector. Subtract what? The triangle which is in it, which you already took the area of, and then when you subtract those two, what is left? The part of the bottom. That's it. And now we go into the specifics. What is the specifics? Area of this particular sector. What is the area of a sector? You take that 75 divided by that 360 multiplied by pi multiplied by radius squared, which is 5. If you've done this correctly, your answer should be around 16.36. The area of the triangle you already know, which is 12 centimeters. Subtract 12 centimeters. So what is left for your answer? 4.36 squared centimeters. But are we done? Of course not. And give your answer in one decimal place. So 4.36, which is 2 decimal places, you turn into 1 decimal place, which is 4.4 square centimeters. Easy peasy. The next one. I've struggled with this question in real life plenty of times. And now I decide to give it in the real life. You go to Pizza Hut, 2 pizzas 22, but you look at a larger pizza and it's more expensive. You'll be like, well, is it a better purchase? How do I know it's a better purchase? Simple, basic math. And you know which one is the better buy. What am I looking for? I'm not looking at the circumference. To know if something is more, I need to look at the area. If the area of the smaller pizza, twice its size, is the same as the area of the larger one, they're both the same. If it's less, then it's not the same. So this specific question, the only thing you needed to know is the area of a circle. That's it. That's the only thing you needed to know. So the area of a circle equals the radius squared times pi. I named the smaller one A, and I named the larger one B. So the area of the first one was 7.5 squared multiplied by pi. That equals 176.7 square centimeters. 1 point for that. The area of B would have been 15 centimeters squared multiplied by pi. That answer would have become 706.9 square centimeters. What was the question? If I buy two smaller ones, is it the same as one bigger? So what did you have to do? Multiply the smaller pizza's area, which is 176.7 square centimeters, with 2. That gives you 353.4 square centimeters. Is 353.4 square centimeters the same as 706? No, it's not the same. So your answer, no, it's not the same. That is your answer. Answer is no, it is not the same. Yes.